So wanted to take today and recognize Nolan Wells' birthday. This young man went out with a group of quote unquote friends for 4th of July and did not return with his group and was found 2 days later deceased. And we don't know what's happened. We're not getting answers from the DA, from law enforcement. And the worst is, you know, this family is really looking for answers. They hired Ben Crump as a civil rights lawyer to help them get a fair investigation, which is what anyone should be asking for. And then you have, you know, social media influencer Tatum inserting himself and really going after the mom under the guise of going after the lawyer and just, you know, shamefully, you know, calling her a liar, all these names. And it's really frustrating. And I'm trying, I can't make sense of it.
Well, you can make sense of it. You just have to understand what kind of creature Tatum is.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I want to just say one of the things he did say was he admitted that during his research of Nolan, no matter who he talked to, that everybody agreed that this was just an unbelievable young man.
Yeah.
That he was head and shoulders above in his behavior, how he conducted himself with his peers, his focus, and everything that, and this is according to Tatum, everything that he found out about this young man was just of impeccable character.
Right.
But he had a slip up. Tatum did. What he said, he mentioned to one of the parents is he suggested that any kid that has this impeccable of a reputation, is it possible that there was some criminal activity that everybody was missing? Now Tatum doesn't realize he admitted this. And I want you to find the link to it and put it in the description. And he goes on to say that one of the parents shouted him down, came at him, was like, "Don't you dare do that. This kid was impeccable. He did nothing wrong." But the fact that that's what Tatum was looking for,
right,
or going after,
yeah.
And another thing he did was, you know, Miss Christine, which is Nolan's mom, when she did her press conference, or I forget if she said this at the press conference or if she said this at the celebration of life, when she said something about, you know, mothers, you know, be mindful and watchful of your children, and moms that look like me, be very mindful and watchful of your children.
Yeah.
Now, from that, Tatum deduced that she was being racist and that she deserved the attack that she got on her job about her integrity at work. She deserved that. This is what Tatum did.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, but this is the thing. What Tatum is trying to do is something very specific. Tatum is, and this is why he has to be paid attention to, okay? Tatum he's somebody's pet. He's a pet. What he's doing is specifically a part of a higher agenda.
Yeah.
And I'll explain how he's declaring war on the black community, and that is paramount that black content creators continue to obliterate this guy. Because what he's doing is, Tatum is actually proving that there's a spiritual war on black people, or on black culture in this country. And what he does is he constantly goes after this grieving mother.
Yeah.
And why this is very important to understand is because he wears the name of Jesus on his arm, and he constantly has a "I love Jesus" hat on his head.
Right.
Okay. And you know, I try to be careful. I don't like stepping on people's religious beliefs, no matter what they are. Mm-hmm. But Christianity is based on spiritual principles and spiritual laws that are African, that were discovered, mapped out in Africa. Mm-hmm. And this is the gift to the rest of the world, was these spiritual principles and concepts and laws on how to govern people, how to establish governments, how to establish kingdoms, the importance of family core structure, the importance of community. All these things were gifted to the world by Africa. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what's very specific about what Tatum is doing, there's a principle, it's an African principle that is borrowed by Christianity. And this is the principle of the grieving mother and the grieving widow. And this is part of the core concept of what Christianity is and what the spiritual principle of Jesus Christ is, and why this is such a successful dogmatic concept. You see, Mary was a grieving mother.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
They killed her son. Mm-hmm. So she was grieving along with Mary Magdalene, which was a friend of his, part of the crowd, part of his crew. Mm-hmm. And his mother was the grieving mother. This is the same spiritual concept that Ms. Christine embodies right now.
Yes.
She is that grieving mother. Mm-hmm. We don't know what happened to her son.
Yeah.
Logic and street sense tells us that something very nefarious happened to this kid.
Yeah. Because
it doesn't need to be surrounded by all this ambiguity.
Right.
We could have got the autopsy report weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, listen, it may look nefarious, but it was a simple drowning, ma'am. This is autopsy. Here's all the body components, and we're turning it over. But our findings was it was a simple drawing. We're really sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
And, turning it over to her team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a simple drowning. He's a kid. Maybe he had one too many beers out there, or the fourth. Mm-hmm. And lost his footing, and he did drown. Simple enough. We're all sorry for your loss. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's not what happened. Mm-hmm. The parts of his body that could prove whether or not it was a simple drowning were kept.
Yeah.
So we got all this mystery and all this ambiguity associated with what happened. Mm-hmm. If it was a simple drowning, then we could just let this grieving mother know that. Yeah. So that she could mourn in peace. Right. Because Tatum keeps his thing is he keeps bringing up, and this is how he's waging war on the black community. Yeah. He's a tool being used by somebody to wage war on the black community.
Oh yeah.
And there's very specific components to his actions, like the fact that he's claiming that the family is making this about race when that's actually what he's doing. And this is how you know. They did an autopsy report. Mm-hmm. To this day, she still hasn't gotten an autopsy report, and it's her son's birthday.
Right.
She calls in outside help to help her and her family get some kind of justice or some kind of understanding about what happened to her son. Mm-hmm. You see, the fact that she has to call in outside help doesn't mean she's making it about race. That's what Tatum is, what he's saying. The fact that she is calling in outside help means she's automatically making it about race. while he is making it about race.
Yes. He also went after her about, well, she didn't even get a criminal lawyer, for this. Well, she didn't do anything wrong. She doesn't need defense. She doesn't need a criminal lawyer. She needs a civil lawyer to help her get the fair investigation, like you're saying. So this former quote unquote police officer doesn't even understand what she's doing to get a proper investigation.
Yeah, he talks like he doesn't even know due process of the law, but yet he was in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And he goes by this moniker, Officer Tatum, but he doesn't even know proper procedure. Nancy Grace has had to correct him and educate him multiple times on the letter of the law.
Yeah.
But he's the ex-cop.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's doing these very specific things
mm-hmm. that
is like a spiritual attack on this woman while she's trying to grieve. She, like he says on this thing on his birthday, why aren't they talking about Nolan? Why aren't they celebrating Nolan? That's because the grieving process has been interrupted. They can't get correct findings. They can't let him rest. He's not resting in peace, which is how the grieving process begins. We know what happened to him. Once we know what happened to him, then that's laid to rest. Now his mother can spend the right amount of time, spend her 70 days grieving her son and talking to her other children about what happened. But now you have a household that can't properly grieve because they don't know what's going on, and you've got a mother with other children, and Nolan was the oldest, and so he's got younger siblings that are just lost out to sea because they don't know what happened to Nolan, their older brother. Yeah. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And Tatum, you've got Tatum in there attacking the entire process.
Yeah.
And he can't, you can't go unanswered. He's attacking the black community. You see, the symbols of Mary Magdalene, and you get a whole lot of hoopla about her being a real person. These are, if you understand African spirituality, these are symbols of particular laws and principles. And one of the principles of what Mary Magdalene is community. She is the principle of community. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, as well as his mother, Mary being, several different principles. Mm-hmm. But Mary Magdalene, one of her principles is the principle of community, which is the black community in this particular case grieving.
Yeah.
You see, while his family is grieving. Now, obviously this guy doesn't know anything about the religion he professes or the origin that he professes. He just got it tattooed all over his body, like tramp stamps, and it has no idea he could have a Chinese tattoo on him that says "Eat chop suey," and right. He thinks it means love and happiness.
Right.
You see what I mean? This is how idiotic this guy is, yeah. And he's going after this family like that. You see, and he had the black creators have to go after him. And because it's right now, history is in a flux. Mm-hmm. We're writing history as we move forward. We're the world is in uncharted waters right now. And the ancients said that time would begin around 2012. That's what the mark of the Mayan calendar was about. A lot of ancient calendars pointed to this time, and it had nothing to do with the end of the world. Mm-hmm. It was the end of an eon, the end of an age, which means there's a changing of the guard, which means that everything we're doing is in a flux right now. We're establishing what this new age is going to look like day by day. Mm-hmm. And so you insert someone like that, like Tatum, in there, and he's literally trying to rewrite black history. Mm-hmm. And so black culture has to understand how powerful this process is. You see, over time, this war, this spiritual war that's been waged against black culture in this country, it didn't just start, this year. Mm-hmm. And it didn't end years ago when someone with the civil rights movement think that it ended there. This has been an ongoing thing. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, what we'll do is we'll get rid of their very capable black leaders.
Yes.
The promising black leaders, men that are strong, men that are for family and community, like Huey P. Newton and the Panthers, who established the breakfast program and many other things that they did within the black community and clinics and things. Malcolm X, we'll get rid of Malcolm X. Even MLK, started going through these epiphanies that enlightened his philosophy above that of what his religious background had taught him. He went through a stage of enlightenment, and then we lost MLK, Marcus Garvey, Medgar Evers, all these men that were ready and capable to stand up and lead the black community. Mm-hmm. We'll wipe those out.
Yeah.
And now we'll put Tatum up there in front of them. Yeah. So the ones that don't have strong enough mentality thinks that what Tatum is saying, if he says that you repeat these lies, he's repeating with enough authority, it makes it sound believable.
Right. What I struggle with Tatum is I feel like he's gone too hard in the paint. Like it's so transparent. He's bought and paid for. He's serving up a message that he's been fed that, like, I don't understand how he's believable to the black community. Like, I understand how, bigoted, racist white people could eat him up because he says things that they can't say because he's got the right skin tone. But for me, listening to him, it's awful. Like the way he's going after Miss Christine and his half-assed, to use his word, disingenuous apologies. Like, what are his spiritual ramifications for this?
Well, one of the most important spiritual ramifications for Tatum that he doesn't quite realize he's doing to himself is that he is, not only is he bought and paid, he's a pet. Mm-hmm. He may or may not see himself as a pet. Mm-hmm. I believe that there's rooms that Tatum can walk in and he has to sit on the floor and gets patted on his head. That's how bad it looks to me. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some white man somewhere and Tatum comes in there and he sits on the floor next to the guy's chair and he pats Tatum on his head and tells him, "This is a good boy. Mm-hmm. You're a good boy.
Right.
We'll tack on another $500,000 next year to what you're getting now. We'll make it look like more subscribers."
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But the ramifications of what he's doing, okay? They know Tatum is running off a program that they're being taught. Whether you're an enlightened white person, which there are, or whether you're a closed-minded, racist white person, which there are, they both know, both of these, the entire white community knows what Tatum is doing is complete bull. Mm-hmm. In its entirety. They all know Tatum is a pet.
Yeah.
The danger Tatum has already crossed this line is that what they also know is that he's programming his sons with this.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
He's programming his sons with his thought process, which means he's serving his sons up on a platter.
Right.
He's forgetting that this same world that he denies exist for black people, he's raising his sons up in this world with no defense, with no...
They're ill-equipped.
Yes, Tatum said a very interesting thing when he was trying to, disrespect his family's mourning process, and acting like that's not what he's doing, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to disrespect the mourning process, which is, the same thing you saw them do. And remember in the original Godfather, when Vito was still in Sicily, and the mom had to bury his father.
Oh yeah.
And Vito, and then Vito had another brother. She had to bury his father and his brother within days of each other. Mm-hmm. And so Vito is at they're marching the body to the burial site, and then the hitman come and they shoot up the funeral procession.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Vito has to run to America. Mm-hmm. It's the shooting up the funeral procession that's important here, because that's what Tatum is trying to do. Mm-hmm. It's a symbol for disrespecting your dead.
Yeah.
And that's why they showed it like that at the very beginning of the Godfather series, which goes on to be, one of Hollywood's greatest series ever. Yeah. But it starts off to let you know what kind of a person we're dealing with here in this boy Vito Corleone, the kind of man he would become. Mm-hmm. Is even his mourning process and that of his mother's mourning process was completely disrespected.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And that's a very important principle that all humans, we respect about each other, even when it's an opposing culture. If you remember in the movie Troy with Brad Pitt and those guys and Eric Bana, and they were waging war with each other, and Brad Pitt's character Achilles, he kills Hector of Troy, Eric Bana. And so they tell them, we'll give you X amount of days to mourn your dead and bury your dead. Yeah. There's no war while you're burying your dead.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
there's some honor.
There's honor there. Tatum, and this is how you know he's a pet, because he's still barking and yapping away while this family is in the mourning process. Even enemies will respect the mourning process. There's no gunfire. There's nothing. You can bury your dead. Only animals will not respect the mourning process. Yeah. You see my point? Yeah. And so this is what Tatum is letting us know, that he's waging war on the black community. But because the universe is built on the principle of mirrors, you can't wish ill or evil upon somebody without wishing that back on yourself. Mm-hmm. That's the supreme being. That's Nebuchadnezzar. That is God of the universe, the source, however you want to look at it. That's what restores that balance. Mm-hmm. Because the minute you put yourself into that process, you have now inducted yourself to feel that same pain and suffering that you would wish on another person.
Right.
And this is what Tatum is doing to his own sons.
Yeah. And
he has no idea. He's just a pet. He's just a dog that's barking away. Mm-hmm. And disrespecting this family, a mourning, a black woman that has, he's called this woman so many racists and things while she's simply trying to get answers, blaming the whole process on the family. The fact that the son is dead, the fact that she can't get answers to what happened. This dude is blaming it on him. In a different place and time, Tatum would have been skinned alive.
Yeah.
They would skin him alive. He'd be disemboweled.
Yeah, like the way he's inserted himself with he's not a journalist. He's not a cop. He was never an investigative cop. And the way he's just inserted himself, even when he's given interviews, he was on Nancy Grace, and he's like, he's answering a question about something, a message that was sent to the boys, and he's like, well, we responded and, you know, we're asking for confirmation. And it's like, we? So you're speaking for them now? Like, you're part of the, like, really?
Yeah, if you listen to Nancy Grace's, the language she uses with Tatum, and this woman's a consummate professional.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She has a certain format that she does on her shows. So you can be a seasoned law professional. It doesn't matter what color you are on her show. You could be black, white, whatever. You could be a state's attorney. You could be defense attorney, law enforcement. Nancy Grace don't care. She gonna chew your ass up if she finds a hole in anything you say.
Yeah.
She's gonna go right after it. She's like a pit bull.
Yeah.
She cuts Tatum so much slack. She knows he's in over his head. You see what I mean? She knows he's wading in uncharted waters here, claiming to be something that he's not. He doesn't even understand the letter of the law. Yeah. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's got to be a reason why she cuts him so much slack. And she may know that he's a pet to somebody else. She may know whose pet he is. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Yeah. And as part of her job, she got to have him on the show. But this guy is out of his league. Yeah. And he's got to be torn down for what he's doing to this family, to this woman, to this grieving mother. You know, you can't sit on one podcast and say you love and respect black women and you don't love your mother. You don't respect your mother. Your mother should have slapped him in his face so hard for what he's doing to this black woman. Mm-hmm. And tell him, I don't want your Mother's Day gift. I don't want your Christmas gift. I don't want anything from you. What you doing to this black woman is despicable. I can't believe that I raised you to treat a woman this way. She's mourning her son, and you're calling her racist. She didn't do anything but mourn her son.